Good evening. A biker who led Sussex police on a 3-hour chase at speeds of over 100 miles an hour has been jailed at Lewes Crown Court. The pursuit only ended when Gavin Colette from Sussex, who had lost his helmet, suddenly crashed, but he managed to flee the scene. Malcolm Short takes up the story.
It's now gone across a pedestrian crossing, almost hitting pedestrians.
Gavin Colette filmed by a police helicopter, endangering the lives of everyone who crossed his path.
M+15, it's a crash.
For 2.5 hours on a March afternoon, Colette rode his motorbike across 2 counties at speeds of up to 140 miles per hour. 7 police cars were involved in the pursuit, but Colette was travelling too fast for them to stop him safely.
He now has no helmet.
It's the most outrageous incident of dangerous driving we've ever seen in Sussex. He was undertaking vehicles, he was going on pavements, he went through Montague Street in Worthing, that's a pedestrianised area, to evade the police and to evade the helicopter. His riding was atrocious. It's lucky that he didn't obtain any serious injuries, but most thankfully no other members of the public or officers were injured for this incident.
Gavin Colette was first spotted heading south on the A24 between Broadbridge Heath and Findon. Soon after, he crashed in Offington Drive in Worthing. He continued along the A27 without his helmet towards Shoreham. Colette was then tracked riding along Dyke Road Avenue into Brighton city centre and down to the pier before heading west to Portslade. He then doubled back through Hove before crashing for a second time at the Churchill Square car park. Colette dumped his bike and escaped on foot, but later gave himself up to police. Gavin Colette, who's 32, pleaded guilty to 2 counts of failing to stop at the scene of a crash, dangerous driving, driving while disqualified, and having no insurance. The defence told the court that Colette had drug problems and mental health issues and was deeply ashamed that he'd put lives at risk. He was jailed for a total of 2 years. Malcolm Shaw, ITV News, Lewes.
Breaking news, and a major fire has broken out at a scrapyard in Poole. 11 engines are trying to contain the blaze near Tower Park, and surrounding roads have been closed. Traffic is at a standstill and people are being advised to avoid the area. It's not yet known how it started, but any updates will be on our website. Just go to itv.com/Meridian. 2 men have been arrested after a double stabbing in Basingstoke. It happened during a fight in an underpass at Southam last night. Both men in their 30s are being treated at Southampton General Hospital. One of them is seriously injured. Now, a bitter war of words continued today over a rail dispute that's causing misery for commuters in the south. Southern Trains admitted almost 250 trains every day are being cancelled. Union leaders claim that Southern bosses are deliberately cancelling those trains, but the company's chief executive tonight denied the allegations. Another strike is due on Tuesday. Our transport correspondent Mike Pearce has the details.
Once again, services will be badly hit during next Tuesday's strike in the row over guards no longer closing train doors. Large parts of Sussex and areas of Kent, Surrey and Hampshire will have no trains at all or a limited service. Passengers are advised to check.
It's a similar service to what we've operated on other strike days. We've slightly extended run-in times on a couple of routes. We suggest customers check on the website.
Meanwhile, the war of words goes on. The RMT union say Southern are deliberately cancelling trains to make it look like guards are taking unofficial action.
The RMT say you are deliberately cancelling trains. They've even tonight put a photograph out saying there was a crew available for one train that didn't run.
That simply isn't true. Every train we cancel, we face a stiff fine. Sometimes trains are cancelled because a member of crew isn't available for an inward work-in or indeed for a work-in later on in that train's journey or diagram.
So there's a categorical denial, it is not true.
Absolutely not true. We would not cancel trains deliberately.
Where then does the dispute go from here?
We will be moving ahead and imposing our proposals. That's reluctantly. We have spent 6 months trying to engage with the RMT and reach a collective agreement. The RMT have drawn a line in the sand on this.
The RMT is considering more strikes in the coming weeks. Mike Pearce, ITV News, Victoria.
The death of the Labour MP Jo Cox has left the country in shock, and today MPs from the South have been among those paying tribute to her. The 41-year-old mother of two was shot and stabbed yesterday. Today, flags flew at half-mast over Westminster. From there, Phil Hornby sends this.
The House of Commons will meet for a special session on Monday so MPs can pay their tributes. And today MPs from our region have been speaking about their friend, starting with Alan Mack, the MP for Havant, Yorkshire-born, who became an MP on the same day as Jo Cox.
We knew each other before we came into the House of Commons, so we did get on well. We'd worked together on a few issues in Parliament as well, particularly to do with the Middle East. She was a wonderful, fantastic campaigning MP, and I think the attack on Jo was an attack on all our democratic values, and the best thing we can do is carry on with the great work that she will have held dear.
I had the utmost respect for her because she really did command a lot of confidence. From her interventions in Parliament, she made really intelligent observations. So she's a real inspiration for everybody, myself included.
She was someone who is emotionally very open, she was very friendly, she had huge warmth and was incredibly maternal. She kind of mothered me even though I'm older than her. I know that everyone that came into contact with her, most notably the people she represented, are going to miss her in a very, very real way because she was a remarkable, remarkable person.
The referendum battle, so angry and so frenzied on both sides, has absolutely ground to a halt. But campaigning will resume, it'll have to. We're only days away from an absolutely momentous decision, although none of the politicians I've spoken to today have much appetite for it. We'll know the result of the referendum a week tonight.
And finally tonight, after 6 months in space, Major Tim Peake will come back down to Earth tomorrow, and quite possibly with a bit of a bump. The astronaut from Sussex will eject from the International Space Station for the most dangerous part of the mission, the capsule reaching speeds of 17,000 miles an hour. It will be a tense time for all of his family, and today Fred went to talk to his parents about his mission.
We used to be people in our own right, now we are Tim Peake's parents. And we don't mind that at all. I mean, it's all about him. I think the upside of it is that the response from people has been so heartwarming and so enthusiastic, especially the young children who've taken this mission really as their own, and they've really got behind it, which is what Tim wanted to achieve.
Nigel is an extraordinary young man, and yet I think you've said to me before, at school he wasn't a particularly high achiever, was he?
No, he persevered the whole time. So by his own admission, he got what he calls modest A-level results, but he just set his heart on something and said, I will do that.
We're so close now to the landing. Angela, what are your feelings about that?
I know it's a dangerous part of the mission, just like other things are. But I know we'll be well looked after, and everyone talks us through it. So I think when we understand what's happening, it makes an awful lot of difference.
We know that it's not a particularly pleasant experience. I mean, it has been described, even a good landing is something like a fairly bad car crash.
And when he comes home, what's going to happen, do you suppose? Will there be a party? Will there be a big family gathering?
To be honest, I don't know when he will get back to Westbourne. I think we'll try and take curry. And I've made some mince pies and brandy butter.
Looking forward to seeing your son again?
Very much so, yes. I mean, he's obviously going to be fairly tired when he first gets back, and he's going to have to reacclimatise.
This is your son, Angela. You must be very proud.
Yes, I am. He had an aim in mind, and I think he made it.
He certainly did. Now, what does the weekend weather have in store? With all the details tonight is Simon Parkin.
From cold fronts to camping, driving through Europe, Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Good evening, and after some fairly tricky weather this week, you'll be thrilled to hear that the weekend is actually looking pretty decent. Few showers knocking around this evening, but tonight we are largely dry with some clear spells too. Temperatures 12, 13 degrees, and tomorrow morning there will be a bit of brightness to wake up to. Fair bit of cloud too as we head through the day. There's a risk of catching an odd shower, but I think most of us will stay dry, and the best of the sunshine probably down towards the south coast. That's where we'll get the highest temperatures, around 18, maybe 19 degrees. And then Sunday, a another pretty decent day. Dry, but with cloud increasing through the day, rain arriving by Sunday night.
Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Keeping a close eye on summer. The Pollen Count, sponsored by Ilogy Eye Drops.
Well, it's grass pollen that's the biggest cause of hay fever, and through tomorrow, a relatively decent day. Levels will be high. They'll be even higher on Sunday, but they will drop on Monday when things are damper again.
And that is all from us for tonight. We are back with bulletins throughout the weekend, but from me and from all of us here on the Late Team tonight, have a great weekend. Good night.